This series is about the launch of the PlayStation in 1995, but to properly cover 1995, we actually have to go back to 1994 and the launch of the PlayStation in Japan. On December 3rd, 1994, the PlayStation 1 launched in Japan. One of its launch titles was Ridge Racer by Namco, a port of their 1993 arcade game that had been in direct competition with Sega's Daytona. Namco weren't the only people who saw next-gen 3D hardware as the perfect place for arcade ports. Sega thought so too. 4 months earlier, in May of 1995, they had released the Saturn in the US. It came with the same launch titles it came with in Japan: Virtua Fighter and Daytona. Daytona on Sega Saturn was a buggy, slow port of the original arcade game. It was basically trash. It didn't play well, it didn't sound good, it didn't look good. Ridge Racer was as close to perfect as you could get at home. In terms of controls, Ridge Racer's pretty good. The drifting and turning system takes a while to get used to, and the game's clearly adapted for playing on a D-pad instead of designed for it, but there's worse out there. At least I would say the game controls pretty well, if I didn't know that this was by far the worst of the two controllers you could have played this game with in 1994 in Japan. The PS1 launched with standard controller. No analog sticks, no rumble, basically exactly on par with an SNES, Sega Genesis, or even Sega Saturn controller of the time. The D-pad was still the state-of-the-art for standard home game controls. Namco disagreed with this limitation, and when developing Ridge Racer, developed new hardware to go with the game. In Japan, Ridge Racer released alongside the Negicon, a controller which the player would twist to give analog steering wheel-like input. This early instance of analog control, combined with the strong graphics, mostly steady frame rate, and very stable gameplay of this port, made Ridge Racer on PlayStation far and away the better choice than Daytona on Saturn. With being an early adopter, there comes limitations. Everything in Ridge Racer fits into just the 2 megabytes of RAM on the console. All the graphics, all the cars, all of the game logic, all of the track data is in a single load to memory. The rest of the CD is all soundtrack. This is to the point that the game will just let you put in any CD that you have and load your own music to listen to while playing. There really is just one load, just 2 megabytes of data in the whole game. The single track in the game has 4 variations, and twice as many if you count the mirrored ones, giving 8 total ways to play it. All of those can be unlocked normally through gameplay. But half of the cars in the game, more than half actually, are locked behind beating the Galaxian level in the game's loading screen. This game has Galaxian in it, by the way. Galaxian's pretty cool. This game only has 1 wave though, so I'm not reviewing it. Despite all those massive changes that PlayStation was bringing to gaming, some things were still staying the same. Japan still got games first, often better than the US. Ridge Racer's certainly impressive, but a little less so without Namco's purpose-built Negicon controller to give it analog turning and acceleration. Even if today, Ridge Racer 1 is only worth returning to as a curiosity, it was a strong start for the PS1. It said everything it needed to about the platform, where the platform would go in the future. And it was pretty fun to replay. Next up, instead of a game that beat Sega's home port by chance, we have a game built to kill Sega's arcade ports on purpose. Next up is Battle Arena Toshinden.